This is 5 on your side at 10. Focused on you.
Tonight, a North St. Louis County man is behind bars after police say he pulled a gun on a teenage fast food worker. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Ann Allred. Police say the fired-up customer didn't fire off his gun at a St. Anne sandwich shop. But as our Robert Townsend reports, the suspect is accused of threatening a 16-year-old employee.
On this Friday night, it looked like just another day at this Penn station in St. Anne. We saw calm customers going in and out of the business on St. Charles Rock Road. But on October 19th, police say this furious customer gave the sandwich shop quite a scare.
In police work, you see a lot of crazy things.
Employees told police James Jackson first stormed through the front door, shouted obscenities at them, and then argued with them. Moments later, a 16-year-old clerk said Jackson pointed a gun at him because the workers got his order wrong.
Responded back to the store and wanted his refund or the sandwich made correctly. Whenever he didn't get what he liked, he produced his firearm and threatened to kill the individual. Police say there were 3 employees and 3 customers inside the business at the time. They say most of the scared people ran outside except the 16-year-old who was behind a counter when Jackson approached him. The worker told police Jackson pointed the gun at him, threatened to shoot him, and told him he would be back after the teenager got off work. Police arrested Jackson at his home. Police used his phone number to track Jackson. Officers also recovered a pistol loaded with 30 bullets. Customers are still shaking their heads.
And that's crazy. You can't even come to work and be safe.
Investigators say Jackson claimed the employees were, quote, laughing and talking crazy to him, which made him fear for his life. Prosecutors charged Jackson with unlawful use of a weapon, which is a felony.
We need to learn how to control ourselves and not let our emotions get the best of us.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Police say a man acted in self-defense when he shot and killed a home intruder early this morning. This happened just after 1 o'clock in the Penrose neighborhood that's in North St. Louis. Police say the man and his girlfriend were asleep in bed when they woke up to find the woman's ex-boyfriend standing over them with a gun. The man grabbed his own gun and shot and killed the intruder. Neighbors shared their reaction to the shooting. Police have not yet identified the 37-year-old suspect who lost his life. Police say they are not pursuing charges against the man who opened fire. They are considering it a justifiable homicide. Tonight, new information about a child sexual abuse case that spanned across several states. Christopher Porter was supposed to appear in court this morning, but his hearing was delayed after he asked a judge for more time to get a public defender. Police say Porter, a convicted sex offender, drove from Oklahoma to North Carolina to meet a 16-year-old girl he met online. The two were caught last week in Kirkwood when officers noticed a suspicious car in a parking lot near I-44.
We had some officers that, looked their gut instinct. They saw a car that it just didn't look right on the Lowe's parking lot, and they investigated, and that's how this came about.
The teen has been reunited with her family while Porter was arrested. The judge has not yet scheduled Porter's next court appearance. Tonight, a federal appeals court upheld Illinois' ban on assault weapons and large-capacity magazines. In the 2-1 decision, the court ruled the guns that fall under the ban are effectively military weaponry that's not included in the Second Amendment right to bear arms. The opinion allows the law to be enforced while lower courts continue to consider multiple pending lawsuits on the state ban. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli officials in Tel Aviv today. He says more needs to be done to protect Palestinian civilians that are caught in the crossfire. Israel Prime Minister said today he opposes any ceasefire in Gaza unless Hamas frees all the hostages. All this as more than 100 U.S. citizens and their families fled the region yesterday. The White House says that number is likely to grow since some did not seek help from the embassy there. There is a stark reminder of the Israel-Hamas war in Clayton tonight. Members of the Jewish community set up empty chairs at a Shabbat table in Shaw Park. It's to bring attention to the more than 200 hostages held captive in Gaza since October 7th. The event's organizer says she was inspired by similar displays set up in Israel and around the country. She says dozens of people even donated items for the demonstration.
We don't have as big of a Jewish community here in St. Louis, but it's a very active community. And I thought, like, hey, I know there's a lot of active people out there. There's a very active Facebook group of St. Louis Jewish moms, and I just knew if I could find a spot and get it started that everyone would come together and help out, and really everyone has.
Shabbat, also known as the Jewish Day of Rest, happens each week from sunset on Friday to sunset on Saturday. It usually begins with a family dinner. Right now, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley is putting pressure on the EPA to clean up Westlake Landfill. Yesterday, Hawley spoke with an administrator with the EPA, demanding the agency cleans up this Superfund site. Thousands of tons of radioactive waste from World War II was illegally dumped there in the 1970s. The EPA said in May that the waste is mostly contained to a 200-acre site. But environmental activists say the federal agency needs to move quicker.
Day one, my conversation with EPA in 2013 was, there's no way you guys have identified all the radioactivity on this site. You haven't even tried. But because of that, we don't have a shovel in the ground, and we have a community that's waiting, and we don't even know what they're doing.
The EPA website says the next step in the process will be remedial design work, which could happen between July and September of next year. Drivers may hit some heavy traffic near downtown St. Louis this weekend. In about an hour, MoDOT is shutting down both directions of I-55 and I-44. This will be between the Poplar Street Bridge and 7th Street for Railroad Bridge and road maintenance. Detours will be marked for the area. Roads and ramps should be back open by Saturday afternoon. Red Hot Riblets, they're a fiery St. Louis tradition. The hot season chip originated right here by the local snack company, Old Vienna. But one 5 on Your Side viewer asked the Verify team about why the chips are banned in one particular state. That heat, slightly sweet flavor with a hint of barbecue sauce. 5 on Your Side viewer Jacob asked the Verify team, is it true Red Hot Riblets aren't allowed in California? If so, why? Jacob, let's verify. Our sources, California Law Proposition 65, CDC, and Old Vienna. The state of California regulates the use of acrylamide in all products. That's a chemical formed when carbohydrates, like potato chips, are cooked at very high temperatures. According to the CDC, how it affects humans when exposed to low levels is unknown. However, in animal testing, acrylamide caused reproductive problems, nerve damage, and cancer. If acrylamide is found in a product, California regulators require manufacturers to do one of two things: either reduce the chemical to the lowest level feasible or put a Product 65 warning on the packaging. Old Vienna, the manufacturer of Red Hot Riblets, opted for a third solution.
We can't change our bag just for one state. We will not change our bags to put that warning on there.
Okay.
Therefore, California will not let us sell our product.
We can verify Red Hot Riblets are not sold in California due to a chemical created during the cooking process of the potato chip. What can we verify for you? Let me know. Send me an email. The email address, verify@kstk.com. A pleasant end to the work week. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here with a look ahead at your weekend forecast.
Especially how cold it started this week. Temperatures today topping out in the low 70s in St. Louis. Can we keep that going into the weekend?